I don't know if this is working or not, but let's give it a try. So I'm gonna log into my stream and see if it is working. So welcome to the stream. Let's. Oh, come on. Yeah. 1 second. All right, let's get started here in a moment, but I've got to get to my channel. Thought I was prepped for this, but apparently I am not. All right. So let's move over to uh, this one. Well, I don't know how to set the broadcast name of this stream, so uh, I'm going to have to work on OBS because it's got some major problems. So, hey Adrian, welcome to the stream. I'm going to move on to this is the Let's Talk series. I don't know what the broadcast is actually named because I don't think I can set the broadcast name in this particular application. It's got some kind of weird problem there. So, anyway, this is the Let's Talk series. So, what we're going to do today is talk about the PlayStation 5. So, let's move over and talk about that. All right, hopefully, what are you using? I'm using OBS. And OBS is okay, but it's got some problems. So anyway, this is my browser here, and so what I'm going to do is we're going to talk a little about. Yeah, I'm not using the PlayStation today. I'm using my laptop, and OBS has some weird problems for this. OBS is complaining, but I don't care. I'm just going to use this as it is. So this is an article that I found on what's coming up with the PlayStation 5. So what we're going to talk about today is the PlayStation 5, and uh, it is. So let me say hi in the chat. So I didn't do that. All right. So this is this is an article about the PlayStation 5. So really, what we're going to talk about today is not so much the design of the PlayStation 5, although it is kind of ugly. You can see right here, these are some pictures of it. Let me see if the broadcast is still working. Yeah, it's still working. Okay, so you can see these pictures right here, and I'm not particularly thrilled by the controller. It's got this blue light thing that's next to the. Yeah, I know it's really ugly. It's got this blue light thing that's right next to the pad, the touchpad, and this is really just going to shine right in your face and make it really annoying. So I'm not entirely thrilled by this thing. Let's click on it and I'll show it to you. So this is what it looks like up close. And it is, it's got pretty much all the same controls as the original PlayStation controller. It's just that now it's got this stupid blue light that's surrounding the outside of it. And it's quite ugly. Um, and this is the unit itself. They're showing it in a vertical form here, but they're also showing it in a horizontal form. In the horizontal form, you can see that it's got this rounded case surface, which makes it's going to be. I heard that in games that if your gun jams, it will do the same action. You mean on the PlayStation 5 or just in general in games? I don't think I've ever seen a game where a gun jams. But yeah, but I guess it could happen. Anyway, we'll scroll down, and this is the Xbox Series X. So this is what it looks like, and it's a big vertical cube with pretty much the same standard controller that was there. This is the that was there on the Xbox One X. So this is pretty much just a slightly modified Xbox One X controller, and it looks pretty much standard. Like, you know, if you're used to the Xbox One, it does. They took off some design elements on the surface, so there's less design elements. It's more streamlined, and they put an extra button. Looks like an eject button actually, but it's a little button right in the center. So I don't know exactly what that button is going to do, but I think it's probably the same as the touch button that's on the PS5. And then we'll scroll back up, and so you can see the PS5 controller has the big button surface there, and then the Xbox One Series X has this other button in the middle. But yeah, I've never seen gun jamming in any. Oh, Far Cry gun jam. Okay, I haven't played any of the Far Cry series, so it's possible that they put a mechanic in for guns to jam in some of the games. But I don't think that they've jammed any guns in, say, Fallout 76 or. I'm not even sure if guns can jam in like Rainbow Six Siege. Maybe they can. My guns have never jammed, so I don't know. If they've ever added any gun jamming to most of the games, although I mean, that could be an okay mechanic, but guns jamming is kind of like a condition thing, so condition bar. So if the gun condition gets down to a low enough thing, the gun might jam. So yeah, that could be an okay mechanic if they do it right. Anyway, let's see. So this is the Xbox Series X. It's this big tall cube. I'm not a big fan of this cube either. It's kind of an ugly console. It's in its own weird way. It's just as ugly as the PlayStation 5. So anyway, yeah, it's a weird thing. I'm not thrilled by either of these images. So and honestly, this cube thing is a takeoff on the Apple G4 here. So this is the G4. The G4 is right here, and then this thing next to it is the next cube, and below that is the Apple Mac Pro. And so Apple's made two of these three computers. In fact, Apple kind of made all three of these because Next was Steve Jobs' thing. So technically, Next was sort of another form of Apple. So anyway, these are former computers that use the same elements as the Xbox Series X. We don't know the pricing on either of these devices yet, the PS4 or the Xbox Series X, but that's coming. So anyway, this is an article here that just talks about it. And if you look at the Wii over here, you can see that the Wii actually has a very similar look and aesthetic, a visual aesthetic as the new PlayStation 4. Oh, thanks for stopping by, Adrian. So, so anyway, we're going to talk a little about what's coming up on the PlayStation 5. And so we'll move on to the price. So the price was leaked by Amazon as of the 16th, but I don't think these prices were accurate. The price listed would have been about 565 USD and 450 USD based on what was listed accidentally on Amazon France. And I don't know whether or not those prices are valid, but they're right here. So I'll have to highlight the things that I'm looking at on the screen because there's no cursor. Be nice if it had a cursor, but it doesn't. So I don't think this is the right pricing for the PS5. It is actually probably going to be more than that. Yeah, probably likely more than that. It's probably going to be more like $5.99 or maybe even $6.99. Probably closer to $6.99 and $5.99 than they are to these prices here, if those prices are in any way close We just don't know. This person says his prediction is $4.99 USD for the regular and $3.99 for the digital edition, but I don't know if that's necessarily that's gonna be true. I'm thinking it's gonna be closer to $6.99, $5.99 price range, but just because they're using SSDs in here, so as a result, I think the $4.99 and $3.99 price tags are probably going to be close in price. So anyway, let's see. Microsoft also needs to price theirs, and I'm pretty sure that Microsoft is probably going to price theirs a little cheaper than the PS4, just because they always do that. And by a little cheaper, probably like $10 or $20, not like substantially cheaper. So yeah. Anyway, that's the news for PS5. It was announced maybe a week ago, and then this is interesting. So let's go to this one here. This is Newswire from Rockstar directly. Rockstar has announced that they are going to move or port over Grand Theft Auto Online to the PlayStation 5, and it specifically says, let's see, there will be a new standalone version in the second half of 2021. And so that's actually an interesting thing. Second half of 2021. And so that means that there will be no PlayStation, there will be no Grand Theft Auto 6 right away. We know that because they're going to be doing this. And they've not officially announced Grand Theft Auto 6 anyway, so it looks to me like they're pushing GTA Online. In reality, GTA Online is likely going to spin off and be its own thing and be no longer part of GTA 5. In fact, it kind of implies that's what they're going to do, because there was an announcement that they were going to separate out the Grand Theft Auto separately from GTA 5, so that you can download and install GTA Online separately. GTA Online. And so as a result, they said that the first 3 months, I don't have a picture of that. I should have grabbed that picture from my PlayStation to show on here, to show on the stream. But it basically said that they were going to, in the first 3 months of 2021, they were going to release GTA Online as a downloadable thing for the PlayStation 5. And as a result of a downloadable thing for the PlayStation 5, then you'll be able to play GTA Online pretty quickly on the PlayStation 5. Now, they don't necessarily say that there's going to be any improvements to it on the PlayStation 5, but there is that it is coming. But then this also sort of contradicts that, because it says, I'll just read it. And for the massive and vibrant community of Grand Theft Auto Online players worldwide, the journey through the ever-evolving and shared, here I'll highlight what I'm reading, through the ever-evolving shared world of GTA Online will continue on the new generation with more new updates, including additional GTA Online content exclusive to the new consoles and PC. There will also be a new standalone version of GTA Online coming in the second half of 2021. See it right there, it does say standalone version coming in the second half of 2021, which will be available for free exclusively for PlayStation 5 players during the first 3 months. Okay, so it does say it here, during the first 3 months. I'm not sure what that means, because it doesn't really state what it means, but what it means is, clearly, Rockstar is heavily going to support the PlayStation 5. Now, I've not seen any announcements from Bethesda, or I'm sure all of the major developers are producing new content for the PlayStation 5. Guaranteed. They will be doing that. They have to, because if they don't, then obviously they're not going to be in business for very long. So they have to support the PlayStation 5. The question is not will they, it's when will they? And so we don't know that. And so Fallout 76 has not yet announced any kind of a port over to the PlayStation 5 yet, and I don't know about Elder Scrolls Online. I haven't played it in so long, but there's a lot of these other online games out there that have not yet made any kind of announcements about what they're planning on doing in the future on the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X. So we don't know. And this specifically says PlayStation 5. They do not mention anything about Xbox Series X here, but that doesn't mean they're not going to support it. It just means it does say to new generation consoles in 2021, but it doesn't specifically call out the Xbox Series X here, which is interesting. So I'm not sure what's going on with the Xbox Series X, but they're specifically calling out the PlayStation 5 here. So this is something I'm a little concerned with. Now, let's move down to this next paragraph. It says, additionally, all PlayStation Plus members on PlayStation 4 will get GTA 1 million deposited into their in-game Maze Bank account within 72 hours of each login each month they play GTA Online until the launch of GTA Online on the PlayStation 5. So between now and when they launch GTA Online, which could be either the first 3 months of 2021 or it could be the second half of 2021, in those first 3 months, which is what I think they mean. So coming the second half of 2021, which probably means July, August, somewhere in that time frame before the holidays. July, August, September, in those months, because the first half is January, February, March, April, May, June. So that's the first half. That's first two quarters of 2021, and the second half begins July, August, September, and then October, November, December. So that's the second half. So the second half is anywhere from July to December. We don't know exactly where or when in that part that they will be doing, but it just says coming in the second half. But it does say during the first 3 months, so perhaps it will be July, August, September in those particular time frame. Now, keep in mind this is a video game that they have to port and they have to do a lot of stuff with, so there's a lot of things are going to have to get right to make it work on the PlayStation 5. So if you're on the PlayStation 4, you're going to be able to continue to play Grand Theft Auto Online through the release of Grand Theft Auto Online for PlayStation 5. Now, after it's released, we don't know what's going to happen. We really don't. And so this is, that's what goes on here is it's one of those things that, what do you do? How do you handle this? And so, and that's what they're doing. That's how they're handling it. Now, I don't think Bethesda has made any announcements yet, although it's very early in the lifespan. So I don't really know exactly what they're doing with that. Where's I somehow lost OBS. Oh, there we go. Sorry, it vanished on me. All right, it disappears into the background. That's fine. Anyway, so they're going to be doing more stuff, but just keep in mind that you will get $1 million GTA dollars. Now, let's move over to another article that's complaining about this. I was going to say claiming, but no, it's actually complaining. This is a complaint. It says GTA Online's economy is heading for a next-gen disaster. And specifically, I'm calling this article out. This is ScreenRant.com. And it is calling out the fact that they're going to be giving out $1 million every month until the release, which means that that's 12 months. If that's 12 months of free $1 million, that's 12 million by the end of the whole deal. And I don't see that as a problem. To be perfectly fair, it's not a problem. And let's understand why this is not a problem, why this complaint is without any merit. So it's how Rockstar is ruining GTA's online economy. Yeah, don't think that's not really a problem. And it's not ruining the economy because, to be perfectly fair, the economy in the game is already ruined. So let's scroll down and sort of read a little bit. So it says, while it may seem like a stretch to accuse Rockstar of trying to ruin GTA's online economy, the various incentives they've introduced to promote the remastered version of GTA Online may imply otherwise. Every month leading up to the PlayStation Plus, leading up to the release of PlayStation 5, PlayStation Plus players using a PS4 can receive $1 million, which will be directly deposited in the Maze Bank account. This gives players the opportunity to create quite a sizable nest egg in the coming months, and in turn will encourage them to upgrade to the next-gen console and gain access to all new purchases. Now, there is no there is no nothing stating from Rockstar exactly how they're going to handle the characters we already have on the PlayStation 4 and what we're going to get on the PlayStation 5. Now, will they allow importing of our characters? They did in the past. They might not in the future. We don't know. There's no statements here that say that they will. So the 12 million that we receive in PlayStation 4 may not transfer into the PlayStation 5. So that money that you get on the PlayStation 4 may have to remain on the PlayStation 4. And you have to use it on the PlayStation 4 until they decide to either close down or get rid of or whatever they're going to do with, dispose of the GTA Online for PlayStation 4. And don't think that they won't, because they will. Eventually, all of the online services that are on the PlayStation 4 will close down. They will. Once the PlayStation 5 has enough momentum and majority of the players are playing on a PlayStation 5 and the PS4 is kind of outmoded, all the online services on the PlayStation 4 are going to shut down. So, and that includes Fallout 76, and that includes, Grand Theft Auto Online, and, Rainbow Six Siege. All of those, they're all going to close. Every one of them. Now, I'm not saying they're going to close tomorrow. I'm not going to say they're going to close in a year. But probably within 2 years, they will close. Because in 2 years, the PS5 will be the de facto console, and so will the Xbox Series X. And the old PS4, the device that we're playing today, which is current, but which will become old, won't be useful for them, and they can't make any money off of it. So they're going to close all that stuff down and move it over to the PS5. So and it also means that any money that you had in your PS4 version of GTA Online or any of your other accounts may go away. Now, I don't know what Fallout 76 is planning on doing. So I haven't heard anything, I haven't seen anything, haven't read anything. That doesn't mean that they aren't making some kind of statement about that. So that's just one of those things. Let's move back over to this article and sort of look at these images again, because they're kind of ugly. This is the console with the disc. The disc is off to the back, but this is the console vertical. This is the console horizontal, and it's got a funky shaped top, and this is the controller. Again, I'm not thrilled by this controller. It's pretty much looks like the current controller with a slight rounded design change. This black and white color scheme, the blue lights that are going to shine in your face, and yeah, there's lots of problems with this controller. I'm just not a big fan of this controller. Let's see if we can view this full size. Get it? Yeah. So there's a full size image of that controller. Hello and welcome to the stream. Whoever joined, thanks for stopping by. So this is the controller. This is what it looks like. The big sort of image of it. And you can compare this to the original controller. It looks like it's got more rounded buttons on the top. Maybe they figure it'll be a better. I mean, well, I guess the other ones are sort of rounded like that too. They just look like they stick out more. This could also be a rendering, and they may not be actually to spec, but who knows? But anyway, this is the new controller for the PlayStation 5. They announced this sometime in April, I think, and then they just recently announced the actual console, the way it looks, and this is the way it looks here. And it's okay. To me, it feels and looks a lot like it's bigger, of course, but it has the sort of same aesthetic as the old white Wii, with the blue lights and the black in the center. It just, to me, it feels old and dated. It doesn't look impressive. The PlayStation 3 looked very impressive. It looked very futuristic at the time. Now it looks dated, but at the time it looked very futuristic. Now the PlayStation 4 was kind of generic. It had this sort of stair step thing. It looked okay. It was rounded edged. It had a reasonable case design. It wasn't horrible, but I don't really care what the case looks like as long as I can put it in my rack and play the games. And so this to me is just not something that this thing right here, this look of this it doesn't really matter to me once I get it in my cabinet and I start playing games with it. I don't really care what it looks like because I'm not going to stare at it. I just want to be able to turn it on and play my games. But the controller is important. The controller is important because it's in my hand and I have to feel it and I have to see it, and if there's lights on it that shine in my face, right, those are all going to be problems, and I don't really like all that stuff. But the console itself, I don't really care what it looks like. It could look like a cardboard box for all I care, as long as it plays. Hey Autumn, thanks for stopping by. This is my Let's Chat series. I am not going to be playing games, but I will talk about gaming sorts of things. So today we're talking about the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and some of the new things that are coming up for it. There have been new games that have been announced for it. So anyway, thanks for staying subscribed, Autumn. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with this channel, but I think I'm going to continue doing the Let's Chat series or the Let's Talk series. And that's what this is. We're just going to talk about gaming and talking about things that are going on in the gaming world. And things that don't necessarily impress me about the gaming world. Anyway, let's hop out of this and we can compare this to the Xbox Series X images here, and that's these guys. And so the Xbox Series X looks like this. I can't tell if this is actually black or gray. I think it's black, not gray. It has a very grayish look to it, but I think it's just because of the shading. And I also think that's not actually a real device. It's actually a rendering. The controller might be real, but I believe the console itself is a rendering. It's a 3D rendering. So, yeah, it looks like a mini fridge. It does look like a mini fridge. So this is what the Series X looks like. Although I'm not thrilled by the way that the airflow comes, because the airflow has to come in from the bottom in that little tiny space that's where it's sitting on the little feet, and then it sucks it through the top and it blows it out the top. And so to me, that's not an optimal airflow. What I think I'm going to end up doing if I buy this console is turning it on its side so that it's horizontal and let the airflow from side to side rather than bottom to top. And I think that'll actually improve the airflow across the unit and help prevent it from having any problems. And we all know how stable Xbox hardware is based on Xbox 360, right? Yeah, so it does kind of look like a mini fridge, though. I mean, I will say that. That concave holy top thing, I'm not thrilled by that either, because that's gonna be hard to clean. Honestly, that's gonna be hard to clean. But yeah, I'm gonna set it on its side so that it's horizontal, and it also makes it easier to put the discs in and put the discs in and take them out too. Because when you have a horizontal, it's much easier to put discs in horizontally than it is vertically. Because when you're holding them vertical, then you got to hold them in a special way, and you got to keep your fingerprints off of it. But when you're putting them in horizontally, it's easier to hold it in the right, and that you put your hand in that position. So yeah, this is a much easier console to manage if it's horizontal than if it's vertical. And hopefully they will give us some kind of way to set it horizontally too. And I think airflow-wise, it'll be better horizontally. So this is the controller itself. And as there is a third button on here, pretty much looks just like the original Xbox controller. Let me grab my Xbox controller sitting right here. Yeah, so just comparing it to the one that I have in my hand, it's slightly different only from the fact that they got rid of this sort of shiny element that goes around the button, the on button. That's all gone, and it's now just a flat surface. Let's see what else. And they changed the D-pad so that it looks like the D-pad that's on the Elite controller. So it's got the disc kind of D-pad rather than just the plus. And so that's changed. They also put this third button in the middle that looks like an eject button. It's got this U with an arrow pointing up, and I think that might actually be an eject button, but for maybe the discs, I'm not sure. But it probably will be an overloaded button for things like menus and stuff. So having that extra button there was important. Now, what I would have preferred to see is more buttons near the X, Y, A, B buttons. I would like to have smaller buttons that are like recessed next to each of the buttons, like 4 more buttons, and maybe even one in the very center. I'd like to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more buttons, and I would like those 5 more buttons, lesser used buttons, but still be there for limited features that you can map yourself, whether you want them mapped or not. I would really like to see more buttons on around the X, Y, A, B buttons. I'd also like to see that on the PS5 because we just don't have enough face buttons for most of the functions that are being built into games these days. And I find that game developers have to overload functions so based on context. So if you're standing right in front of like a character, all your button mappings change to whatever it is that you're looking at. But when you step away, then they all remap back to whatever the normal is. And I don't really like this contextual remapping of buttons when you're in the game, because if you're too close to an element or you're too close to a loot box and the whole button's remapped, then when you press Y, it does something entirely different than if you're not there, and it makes it a real problem because then you end up falling into menus when you shouldn't be, and yeah, it's just a real problem, and I don't really like that. So anyway, these are some of the design ideas. So when you look at the little mini fridge, you look at the design ideas that Microsoft used to come up with. This is one of the design ideas they took off, which is this G4, the original G4 cube. Well, it's not really a cube. I guess it is kind of a cube. This lucite cube thing. So this was the original G4 that came out in, when did it come out? In 2000, year 2000. And so this was one of the original, and this was actually a good design. It had the same airflow, bottom to top. It looks like it doesn't have any airflow, but it does. There's a bunch of holes all around the bottom edge of it that allow it to breathe. So this one is the Apple one here. I don't know if I can highlight this. Can't really. Let me click on it. Yeah, so this is the G4 Cube. And this is really one of the things that Microsoft must have used as a design idea, because this is what they decided to go with, a very similar design idea. And even before that, in 1990, Next built this cube, which was, again, very similar in design. And then, of course, the newest, well, not the newest new, but the previous generation of the Mac Pro, which was the cylinder, which was effectively the same as what Microsoft has built, except in a cylinder format. So this is the design ideas that Microsoft used to build their mini fridge. And I'm just going to call it the Xbox SX because honestly, series, who cares? Xbox SX. So that's what it is. So let's just read a little bit here. Let's see. So one of the things I'm never a fan of is blue LEDs. And I'm never a big fan of blue LEDs because they're so friggin' bright. They're like as this article says, they're like little lasers piercing your retinas, and they are. These lights are so friggin' bright that they just are like little lasers, and when you're in the dark. And I don't like blue LEDs. I would much rather have red LEDs or even green LEDs or even yellow or other colors, but the blue ones. Yeah, so that's a good observation. How much are these actually going to cost? And so let's go down and talk about that a little bit. I can pretty much say that for pricing, they can't really be much higher than what the current units cost, right? And so let's see. Let's just go to GameStop right now and see how much. And maybe they even put previews up for GameStop. Let's see. Oh, good. They think my browser is is mobile. Lovely. All right. So PS4. All right. Here, PS5. Let me click on their PS5 thing. For some reason, they think, I don't want notifications, I just want to see it. Okay, so there's going to be some headphones. There's going to be a remote for it. Looks like there's going to be a charging base. Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff here that I didn't see before. There's the camera off to the right. So it looks like GameStop has gotten some other information about other accessories that are coming with it. So let's see. Here, peripherals. I'll come back to the pricing on these guys, but let's sort of jump down here. DualSense wireless controller. Okay, whatever. That's it? Really? This is all they're going to show me is this picture right here? Alright, well, that's Game Informer anyway. And they took me off of that's Game Informer is part of GameStop, so they own Game Informer. In case you didn't know that, GameStop does own Game Informer, that magazine, and the site. But anyway, let's see. PlayStation 4. Sorry, my caps lock is on. Let's do the 1 terabyte Pro. Let's see how much this thing costs right now. So new is $399. Okay, so very likely it will not be any less than $399 because the PlayStation 4 is $399. That's a Pro. The Pro is $399. So very likely the PS5 is going to cost around the same price, $399, possibly even $499. It does have some kind of a solid state drive in it now. It doesn't have a hard drive anymore. And as a result of the solid state drive, it might cost just a little bit more. I'm thinking maybe like $50 or $100 more than normal. So yeah, so it's probably going to be in the $399 to $499 price range. In fact, it'll probably be the $399 for the digital version and $499 for the regular version. Now it could go up to as high as $599 and $499 respectively. $599 for the disc-based version and $499 for the digital version. Now the reason I bring these prices up is because of those prices. The Xbox Series X will not be priced any higher than these. In fact, Sony's always just slightly higher than the Xbox Series X, so what I would expect is the Series X to be slightly lower in price. So the Series X will probably be the $399 price tag, maybe like $450. Because they'll probably throw something else into the bundle to make it worth a little bit extra. And that's one of the things they like to do with the launch bundles is to give you not only the console and a controller, but throw in something extra. And that something extra, because it'll be day one edition, we don't know what it'll be. It could be a game, it could be a couple of games, we don't know. But there will be day one editions of both the PS4 and the Xbox Series X. So just keep that in mind, and those will probably be a little bit more costly. There will probably be also a deluxe version, which will more to the actual console itself, but included bundle stuff. So it might have headphones, it might have, extra accessories, it might even have an extra controller. It might have all kinds of different stuff. So we don't know exactly what it's going to contain. In fact, let's go look at the Xbox Series X website right now. Xbox Series X. Let's see, do I have the Microsoft site one in here? Maybe this? No, that's not it. Yeah, here it is. It's in my history. Alright, so there's a video here. I'm not going to play it right now, but this is a bigger picture of it right here. And we can sort of show you what it looks like inside here. There's a video of it playing, how it's breaking out. Yeah, so it should be able to land on its side just fine. Does it have a hard drive in it? It's not showing a hard drive, but it does show a hard drive bay. Huh. Let me look at the tech specs because I can't tell if it has solid state or a hard drive. Let me just click on it. Really? This is where you're going to take me? Okay. Oh, here it is, a 1 terabyte custom SSD. Okay, so it does have an SSD. So as a result of a 1 terabyte custom SSD, it'll probably have a little bit higher of a price tag. So I would probably expect $4.99 at minimum, perhaps $5.99, maybe even a little higher than that, but probably not much higher than $5.99. In fact, I might expect them to have like 2 or potentially 3 versions of this. Probably one with a 1 terabyte, one with a half a terabyte, and possibly one with just a regular hard drive. And the costs will go down accordingly. So the one with just the regular hard drive will probably be maybe $100 to $200 less. There'll probably be there may even be one without a full digital version without any CD at all, or DVD, Blu-ray, whatever drive that is in there, optical drive. Let's just say optical drive, because whatever optical drive they put in there, then yeah, it'll if they choose to make a digital version without an optical drive, then it will be less. And since I can also almost guarantee you that since Sony has decided to make a digital version, that Microsoft will follow suit and also make a digital version. Well, they already kind of have one, right? They have the Xbox SAD, the Xbox SAD. And I don't know why they even named it that thing. It was the all digital Xbox S all digital, but it ended up being the Xbox SAD. So yeah, it's the Xbox SAD. Anyway, let's see. As I was talking about, the only game that I know that is definitively, well, there are some bunch of new game titles that have been announced, but as far as games being backported, the only one I know that's definitively announced backports is Grand Theft Auto Online. I'm pretty sure that Bethesda's going to have to backport both Fallout 76 and Elder Scrolls Online and all of those. Yeah, 1 terabyte. Hey, Martinez, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Yes, 1 terabyte does seem a little bit low for a next gen. Well, considering that, yeah, you can run out of 1 terabyte pretty quickly because games are like 70 gigabytes these days, sometimes, the big ones. And, that's, and they can even approach like 100 gigabytes. And, you only get 10, 100 gigabytes in 1,000. So, yeah, so that's like 10 games, maybe like 15 games totally on a 1 terabyte drive. So you can't really put that much on. I guess they're still going to expect that you will plug in an external hard drive or an external drive of some kind and shove off downloaded games that you don't play often and put them onto an external drive. So I think that's what they're expecting, is you to keep only your primary games that you play on the primary drive, and then you push everything off to other drives. So yeah, it is kind of small, but I think PlayStation is also 1 terabyte. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can find the tech specs of the PlayStation 5. Because I don't know that I've seen them fully yet. Okay, here we go. This is from Tech Radar. Alright, so it's based on an AMD Zen 2 CPU with 8 cores. It is a GPU that has 10.2 teraflops. It doesn't tell me what the GPU is. I don't know who makes it. I'll have to figure that out. custom RDNA 2. That still doesn't tell me who makes it. I don't know if that's GeForce or who that is, but whatever. Then it's got internal storage is going to be 825 gigabytes of SSD. Wow, that's even less than what's on the Xbox Series X, right? And why 825? That's a weird size, right? Why not go with a 1 terabyte? So the PS5's SSD is actually smaller. And with Fallout 76 or ESO or State of Decay with constant updates, right? Yeah, I mean, well, but they don't really ever get that much bigger. Let me go see how much Fallout 76 is on my PS4 because I have it sitting over here. Um, I'll see how big it is right now. I don't know how big they are. You might be able to hear the noise in the background as I move the... Right, where is it under storage? Wow, I'm almost out of space on my... Oh, wow, so the system drive on the PS4 Pro is also 872. So it's basically not a full 1 terabyte. It says 1 terabyte, but I guess it only formats to 872. So let me look at the sizes of... I don't have Modern Warfare. Hang on, this controller does not like sitting below my phone. My phone interferes with the controller wire. All right, so Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six is 68.99. So let's just say 69 gigabytes. Titanfall is 55 gigabytes. God of War is 46. Let's see. Let me go to my external. The Elder Scrolls Online is almost 100 gigabytes. Doom is 78 gigabytes. Grand Theft Auto is 74 gigabytes. Assassin's Creed is 71 gigabytes. Fallout 76 is 64 gigabytes. So yeah, I mean, many are approaching 100 gigabytes in size. So for a next-gen CPU, particularly ones that are going to have much bigger games now, probably even approach like 110 gigabytes in size at this point. 1 terabyte is really not big enough. So I think these intro machines are going to be under spec'd. I think they're going to have to end up making 2 terabyte size drives, or they're going to make a 2 terabyte option. I'm pretty sure that when the PS5 comes out, they'll probably have a 2 terabyte option, and it'll probably cost you like $800 or $900. And they'll probably have a 2 terabyte option for the Xbox Series X, which will again probably add another $200 to the cost of the unit. So if you want it, they'll probably offer it, but it's going to be costly. The intro units or the base units will probably have that 1 terabyte drive. 10 to 20 gigabytes for me. 10 to 20 gigabytes for what? I don't have Modern Warfare, but I expect it probably takes anywhere between 60 and 70 gigabytes after it's installed. So yeah, it's probably monstrous. And to be honest, I have 2 drives hooked up. I have the system storage, which is 1 terabyte on my PS4, and I have an extended drive, which is also 1 terabyte, and both are nearly full of games. I mean, the system storage is, to be honest, there's a bunch of media and stuff that's installed on my system storage that I could get rid of, things like videos and stuff that I've created. But yeah, they're both almost full. It's actually quite full. So yeah, this is it's a little bit odd on the sizing that they're adding onto these systems. Ray tracing. Wait, what? What is Eurogamer talking about ray tracing? We have a number of features the PS5 will have, including ray tracing support, thanks to several wired pieces. Yeah, I don't know how well that's going to work. Ray tracing. Ray tracing is a great rendering technique, but it's really really slow. So unless they've gotten ray tracing down to like 115 for Battlefront 2, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Unless they've gotten the ray tracing down to be almost instantaneous, I don't even think that the ray tracing part of this is going to be useful on the PS5. Yeah, ray tracing might just be a pipe dream. I probably will never be used on it. I mean, it might be used in the background, like prepping, doing something and prepping a scene while you're playing the game, and then when the next cutscene comes up, it'll play it. But I don't see it being useful. Modern Warfare takes 194. Wow, that is a lot. That's like one. That's like almost 200, right? So that's like 1/5 of a terabyte. That's you know if you had 5 of those games, that's all you could fit on your hard drive. In fact, you couldn't even fit 5 on there with that. You probably could only fit 4 on. Yeah, I can't even imagine what the updates for Modern Warfare are like. I mean, are they like 60 or 70 gigabytes every time they send out an update? That's just got to be monstrous. I mean, my internet, I can download that stuff, but it takes like a full day to download like 70 gigabytes. It's not in any way fast. So apparently, the PlayStation 5 price was leaked on Amazon France, and this is what they came up with. It looked like Euro 499 and 399, which is 565 and 450 USD respectively. Now that's conversion rates, obviously. So probably these are prices that we're going to see in the US too. Usually when it's 499 euro, it's going to be 499 USD. So it's probably going to be 499 and 399 respectively here because they like those price tag numbers. Thanks for stopping by, Autumn. I will see you next time. I'll have more of these chats soon, so you can join me then. So anyway, yeah, I don't know exactly how well these are going to work. Now, one of the things I will say, and I didn't really talk about the rendering quality of these units, but let's talk about that for a moment. The rendering quality of these units, honestly, I've seen some of the gameplay that's come off the PS5, and it is honestly not very impressive. It looks very similar to PlayStation 4 gameplay. Now, it might have some new features. It might render a little faster. It might render more stably at 60 frames per second. But at the same time, the gameplay itself looked pretty much like gameplay that you would expect to see on a PS4. So I'm a little disappointed at the quality of what we're seeing that's coming out of the PlayStation 5. Now, I have not seen gameplay come out of the Xbox Series X, so I can't comment on that, but I have seen what came out of the PS5. And and to be honest, I don't even know if it really came out of the PS5. It could have come out of a PS4, and they could have claimed that it came out of a PS5. So there is that. So anyway, that's pretty much the Let's Chat for today. If you guys have questions, just feel free to put them in the chat. Let me transition back over to this. So that was pretty much all I wanted to talk about today was the PS4, PS5, the upcoming games, and the Xbox Series X, of course. So thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. And I will have more of these Let's Talk series coming up. I don't know exactly when the next one will be, but I just need to find some topics to talk about. If you guys have topics, just leave them in the comment on the video, in the chat, or in the comment, and I'll see if I can talk about it. If you guys have something specific you want to talk about, that would be appreciated. So I will see you guys in the next stream. Come join me again. And I will mention that I do play games still on here, but I do it on Twitch. I don't have a promo for my Twitch to put on this right now. I really wish I had one. Let me see if I can make a promo really quick. Let me see if I can make one of these. Let's see. Let's see. Properties. Twitch TV. I don't think I want to put all that on there. Just this. All right. So that is my Twitch. It's not centered, but it's okay. That is my Twitch profile. You can come over and watch me game on Twitch. I won't be gaming on this channel because of silliness with YouTube, but I will do more of these talk series, and we'll talk about gaming, talk about games. Maybe I'll feature a game, and we'll talk about that game itself and the gameplay. Maybe do more reviews on games and that kind of stuff during the talk series. I'm waiting for my screen to update. I'm not sure why it's taken so freaking long. I will be streaming on Twitch tonight, yes. I don't know why the thing hasn't changed. Still says Let's Talk series. It's not centered. Oh, there it is. Now the video finally showed up. So twitch.tv/Comrancy. Yeah, so that is, I will be streaming tonight. I will have a stream. I'm going to be doing, I'm not sure exactly which one I'm going to be doing. I think I'm going to do a Fallout 76 stream. So let's see. I'll type that into the chat. 76 to a night. So I'm putting it in the chat because the chat is a little more updated than the video. My video seems to be really lagged behind. So I will have a stream tonight. So come join me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Comrancy, and you can watch me game over there. Anyway, I'm going to head out tonight. I'm going to